A man sits in a dim locker room, skin split open, sweat mixing with blood. His hands shake, his eyes are empty. This is the smashing machine, and this is important. We start inside the ring. Kerr dominates. His opponent's face is slick with blood, the mat painted red. The crowd screams, half in awe, half in fear. Kerr's hand is raised. At the doctor's office, he rattles off his injuries like a grocery list. Torn ligaments, broken bones. The doctor nods. Kerr just laughs it off. He's used to it. In the waiting room, a woman asks what he does for a living. He says, "I fight people in a cage." She looks horrified. And for a second, you can see it hit him. How strange his life really is. We then see the quieter side of Mark Kerr. A childhood spent wrestling with his brother. A family proud of him, but distant from what he's become. Back then, wrestling was pure, a test of skill, not destruction. Now it's about violence and spectacle. The film traces his path through the UFC when it was still the Wild West of fighting. No weight classes, no real rules. He was a god there, huge, relentless, unstoppable. When Japan calls, with bigger fights, bigger money, and bigger crowds, Kerr goes. In Pride Fighting Championships, the spectacle is operatic. Warriors worshipped like movie stars. And Mark is the new idol, the smashing machine. He trains obsessively. He wins easily. But between fights, he drifts. At home, we meet Dawn, Mark's girlfriend. Beautiful, volatile, desperate for his attention. They train together, fight together, love and argue in the same breath. When she's angry, she cuts deep. When she's calm, she's radiant. Their relationship is a mirror of his career. Intense, intoxicating, unsustainable. She wants the fighter. He wants peace. But he doesn't know who he is without the fight. Behind it all, there's a secret. Addiction. Painkillers. Needles. Bottles. Whatever it takes to keep going. He's shooting up opioids in his kitchen. His veins are marked by exhaustion. He tells himself it's just to train, but it's not. It's to live. Back in Japan, the next Pride event. Fluorescent lights, press conferences, polite bowing. All masking the brutality beneath. Here we meet Igor Vovchanchin, the Ukrainian knockout artist. He's calm, friendly, and built like a tank. Mark Coleman's there too. Older, steadier, the father figure in the room. At the press conference, officials explain the rules, one of which is no knees to the head of a downed opponent. Everyone nods, but the subtext is clear. The rules are flexible. The night of the fight, Kerr looks uneasy. Dawn's pacing in heels in an evening dress. His nerves are radiating through the locker room. He walks to the ring. Igor's across from him, stone-faced. The bell rings. They collide like trucks. And then it happens. Kerr goes down. Igor's knee connects, and the crowd erupts. The fight stops. Igor's won. Mark sits there, dazed, bleeding, robbed. In the locker room, Igor's team shrugs. Sometimes, they say, the rules don't apply. Mark cries quietly. He's broken, not just from the hit, but from the feeling of being powerless. Later, Igor visits him. They talk as equals, discuss each other's wounds. Two men who understand the cost of what they do. Enemies in the cage, brothers outside of it. Back home, Mark is unraveling. The drugs have him. The fame has faded. And Don's presence makes sobriety harder, not easier. Meanwhile, Mark Coleman is thriving. He trains hard, raises his kids. He's grounded in family, structure, purpose. He's what Kerr could be if the noise ever stopped. Then news breaks. Mark has overdosed. His friends rush to him. He's alive, but barely. He decides to check himself into rehab. He throws away the pills, skips his next pride fight, tries to start again. Time passes. Mark Coleman's back in Japan. He's matched against a monster. The crowd expects him to lose. He doesn't. He crushes his opponent. Vintage, relentless ground and pound. The old man still has it. Then, Mark Kerr's back too. Fresh out of rehab, wearing a suit, polite, composed, the image of a professional. He's fighting again, this time against Ensign Inoue, the Japanese favorite. Before the fight, he reunites with Bas Rutten, an old friend and trainer. Bas believes in him, pushes him hard, and for a while, it looks like Mark gets it. He trains like a man possessed, running, sparring, grinding through the pain. Mark's focus is sharper now, and he wants redemption, to prove he's more than the addiction. Back at the Tokyo Dome, the crowd is deafening. Mark Coleman, Igor, and Kerr are all in attendance, giants of the sport. Mark's fight with Ensign is brutal. Sweat, blood, pain. He fights with discipline, restraint, and control. And he wins. It's the comeback he needed, and the high he's been chasing. For a moment, he's whole again. But pride isn't done. There's another round of the tournament coming. Back home, Dawn hovers over Mark's training. She and Bas clash. Mark chooses her anyway. He leaves Bas, the only person telling him the truth. Meanwhile, Coleman keeps training, focused, determined. In Arizona, Kerr drifts. He's getting thinner, quieter. He shaves his head, like he's trying to shed his past. He and Dawn drink together. He's different now, but not better. We're in Japan again. The medicals, the lights, the ritual. Coleman wins his opening match easily. Kerr follows. But in the ring, he's hesitant. The fire's gone. This isn't the smashing machine. He takes damage, goes down, and doesn't get up. Bas throws in the towel. And just like that, it's over. Backstage, Kerr lies flat on the floor, motionless. Bas stands over him, disappointed, but not angry. He knows what this is. Coleman moves on to the finals. He faces Igor. Two veterans, one last war. Coleman wins. He sits in the locker room holding a massive gold trophy, thinking about his daughters. A man who knows what matters. While Mark Kerr is still on the floor. The film ends with a simple card. Mark and Dawn married. Mark hasn't fought since 2001. This is important. Because the Smashing Machine isn't about fighting. It's about what happens when your entire identity depends on being hit and getting back up. When the body becomes both the weapon and the prison. Mark Kerr wasn't just addicted to drugs. He was addicted to control. To the high of taking someone's will. To the love that came from a crowd of strangers roaring his name. The tragedy isn't that he lost. It's that he couldn't stop trying to win. Fighters like Kerr live between extremes. Adored and broken. Powerful and hollow. Their worth measured in scars and cheers. Their peace measured in silence, which most can't bear. Mark Coleman found something beyond the cage. Mark Kerr never did. He kept chasing that moment where the noise drowned out the doubt. And that's what makes the Smashing Machine unforgettable. It's not a story about violence. It's a story about fragility. And how even the strongest men can crumble under the weight of being indestructible.